This one's a little French restaurant called La Madeleine. Kind of makes me think of Linda because she named the new mitten that we're using for the cooking show. She named it mitten. You know, like how you say mitten in French, la mitten. But there it is.
But she works like the bus routes. She's like an aide for the buses, so she has to be.
I love how there's like immediately a fireplace like right over here. It's kind of cool. It's actually a real fire too, so it's crazy. I usually not that one this big, really. This is like a really big one. So this is Arlington, right by Six Flags. We're not even too far from American Airlines. Oh, I'm sorry, AT&T Stadium, and American Airlines too, but their headquarters. But we're really close to the Six Flags and Hurricane Harbor and all that stuff. Really crowded place. Probably one of the more crowded places. In some cases, even more crowded than Dallas. In some cases. It's really crowded. Lots of apartments are in Arlington. Apartments everywhere in Arlington. They're all over the place. I don't really think I've ever lived in Arlington before, but I've had friends that have. One of my friends had another friend that was like a big Smashing Pumpkins fan. They like to do whippets and listen to Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. There's a stadium right there. The AT&T Stadium. Famous stadium. Chris Kyle had his funeral there. Cowboys play there. Big time artists come there to play music. Never been inside of it, but I've been around it, all around. But I have been in the original Irving Cowboy Stadium that had the hole at the top. This one does too, but it opens and closes. And then, of course, I don't even have to look, but right there's a Whole Foods. I just knew that by heart. So back in the day, when Pearl Jam came out, there was a commercial for a product called Pearl Jam that these women would jump into the ocean and they would swim down at the bottom of the ocean to retrieve these pearls. They'd have to hold their breath for like 6 or 7 minutes or something like that. It was really crazy stuff. But they would retrieve these actual pearls and they would crush these pearls and it would turn into what's called Pearl Jam, which they sold on the market. It was like info commercials back in the day when I was younger. I always thought that was the inspiration for the title of Pearl Jam or for the name of Pearl Jam. I don't know really where it came from. I read something on Google where supposedly Eddie Vedder or one of the band members had a grandma named Pearl, and she was married to a Native American who had some kind of peyote mix that was in a jam. And so they got the name Pearl Jam for combining the grandma and this peyote jam. I don't know if that's true either. There's that one song, the old lady behind the counter kind of thing. Hearts and thoughts will fade. wee, that kind of thing. I don't know where Pearl Jam came from. I guess, Eddie probably has talked about it. I'll probably look it up and find out. But I like the rumor about the Grandma Pearl. I'm going to look it up and find out. Well, according to Google, that's the case. But it was his great-grandma, Pearl, who was married to a Native American. And he had a recipe for peyote, that was in a form of a jam. It was laced. It's jam that was laced with peyote. I guess that's the one. The great grandma Pearl's kind of cool, but I don't know. It's a weird thing. I always thought it was based on that one infomercial. He was, kind of making a point about women wearing Pearl Jam on their face, because that's what it was for. It was like an anti-aging cream. Look it up, though. Look it up. There's a history of it. It's called Pearl Jam. It was an anti-aging cream that you could wear, and they were from crushed pearls. Oh, and also that song, Black, he's talking about clay being laid out before him as she once wore, or something like that. It sounds very Native American, that one song, Black, with the lyrics. Something about the 5 horizons, all that kind of stuff. It's a pretty crazy song. That Central Bible Church right there, it was once called Pantego Church. They changed the name of it. This bridge right here off of I-20, 121 is going to be a really cool bridge. It's going to lead right into Fort Worth, coming down off this 820 right here. That's going to speed up things massively. They're almost finished with it too. It'll go, oh, Critter came out. Hey, Critter. It'll come out right through this way, head right to Fort Worth. So it'll be easier access to Arlington, that area. It's crazy because one of those kids was picking up the other kid. Actually, for a minute, it looked kind of like my daughter. It kind of scared me for a minute. I got a better look, and it wasn't. I thought, what would I do, at that moment? I mean, what could I do? There's what God allows you to do, What I meant to really say is there's what the law allows you to do, and there's what God allows you to do. And even though I am the biological father of my own children, because of this evil world, and this twist and turns, this legalistic way, the way of the worldly way, the wrong way, because of those things, I'm restricted because of one of the rulers of this world is very evil and wicked. But God wouldn't mind. Actually, to be honest, God would approve me as the father of those children. God would approve me to be able to see them. You got to get past this wicked world. But you know who can conquer this wicked world? You guessed it. It starts with JC. That's right. Some call him Yeshua, as in salvation. His name is Jesus Christ. He can conquer this evil way. And he's showing me how. That's the legendary Northeast Mall, about 3 times larger than it was when I was a kid. They had this place there called Fast Forward where you could buy skateboards. We used to hang out there. It's a big time skater place. Still around though. The other one didn't make it. North Hills Mall got tore down, but it's leveled out. Northeast is still there though. And they got one of the bigger movie theaters. Well, Linda and I were just here the other day to celebrate her birthday at this very Chili's right back there. Pretty weird, huh? Remember? And according to Texas Harley Davidson, you'll never ride alone. I'm pulling up on Sushi SoHo, and I was wondering, I wonder what this is right here. I think I know what this is. So, if you want to mail something, what you do is you jump on this like that, and then you jump over that right there, and then And this opens like this, and you just throw the mail in there like that. So you like jump and put the mail in and show you. That's the thing right there. This is SoHo. Just leap off that right in there. What I like about this is like when you're passing by it, you can see like right here. Is that? Isn't that cool? All right. So I'm somewhere on precinct line, and I think I did pick up on the border, and we're gonna be dropping it off at the doorstep, which is somewhere close by, about 4 minutes away. A fond farewell to a friend. That's a whole nother story. It's just a fond farewell to a friend. It's just a fond farewell to a friend. It's not what I like. It's just a fond farewell to a friend. I want to say it's a Walmart. Cold comfort of a little less than a human being. Cold comfort of the in-between. Little less than a human being. Little less than happy high. Little less, I just wanna dance. Good and evil make a perfect romance. Messed that one up a little bit. I'm somewhere in It's like a corner of Arlington, and I'm headed, I guess, to the Bedford area. This is like a back road, so I haven't really been in it. But a long time ago, when I was like 27, I came back from New York. I think I was about 27. I went on a marathon down the other road that's back that way. I actually timed it on my car, or I didn't time it, but I did the trip thing on the car where you do the mileage on the car, and I actually did a full marathon. I walked some of it and I jogged some of it. This is back when I was about almost 28. I think I was about 28. I went from Euless zip code to like another zip code, and then back. And I went through all these these parks and trails, not like a road like this, but it was like not too far from here. Anyway, basically listening to Elliott Smith. I'm on some back road, and I'm headed towards the Bedford area. I think it's like something about when I wanna dance, good and evil make the perfect romance, or something like good and evil make the romance. Elliott Smith, okay, here I just want to say this real quick. His stuff is hard to put together, like lyric wise. I mean, he could put it together very well, but when you memorize it, you really have to kind of think, because his philosophy was behind his lyric. The only other musician I think that came close to that was Bob Dylan. His actual philosophy on things were like right there in the lyric. That's what made Elliott Smith great. I mean, in Fun Farewell, he says, I can deal with some psychic pain if it'll slow down my higher brain. He was also hip. So, like, his lyric was hip. It was cool. But his philosophy on how he saw things, his point of view was right there in his lyric. And when he would sing, that's why you could hear a needle drop at his concerts, because people wanted to listen to every word that he was trying to say. He was that type of musician, and a great guitar player. I mean, absolutely great. You can't just pick up a guitar and simply play an Elliott Smith song, although you can on some of them. I've played a few of them. A Needle in the Haze, a little, like you can just kind of learn it, It's a lot of chord progression. That's another thing Elliott Smith was. He knew chord progression, but he knew the guitar very well, and he knew lyric. He knew how to lay down the lyrics. I gotta find out where I'm going real quick. I mean, after all, Elliott Smith was a philosophy major in college, so he majored in philosophy. He had like a dual major. It was like two. If you know the other major when he went to college, there were two different ones. One was philosophy. I don't think the other one was music. He is kind of self-taught musician, and Heat Miser, I think, is where he learned all his chord progression, and then he carried that through, and said, well, I'm just gonna go acoustic. Just gonna do acoustic, and I'm gonna, just gonna be like a folk, almost, grunge folk kind of thing, independent, indie. And then he got on to Kill Rock Stars, and then started releasing everything. I think his real name was Stephen Smith. He changed it to Elliott because he said Stephen sounded too bookish, was one thing that he said. Know a little bit about him. He was from Duncanville when he was a young boy, I think like 12 years old. Went over to Seattle as a teenager and went to a school in this, I think, Seattle or Olympia area, maybe Seattle. Went to school there. I have a feeling that I may have to turn there, but anyway, I'm going to have to find out. But yeah, I think I did. Let's see where I'm at. I probably can go this way. But anyway, he was self-taught. He did play a little bit when he was in Dallas. So he had the guitar and stuff. Then he brought all that to Seattle and like told his friends and stuff once he got there that he was learning new stuff. Then he found Heat Miser coming out of, I guess, high school, going to college kind of level. And then he did go to college. I think went all the way to the East Coast to go to college. That's where he studied philosophy. And then something else. I forgot the other thing he studied. I'm going to turn around right here. This is kind of creepy. But listening to his music is kind of creepy because of what he did, What Elliott Smith actually did, Pretty serious kind of thing. Is that an angel right there? Fond Farewell is a good song. Switched from listening to Pearl Jam earlier right into Elliott Smith. Oh wow, this is amazing. This must be a freaking graveyard. And this is part of the graveyard too over here. I don't know what this is. I've never seen it before. Somewhere in Arlington. Okay, I finally figured it out. Good and evil matched perfect makes a great romance. Yeah, that's just a great lyric. Good and evil matched perfect makes a great romance. There's alliteration in there. There's kind of antithesis in a way. It's a little Shakespearean in a way. It's verse. It's lyrical. It's Elliott Smith. I mean, he was just like the master of lyricism, and of course of chord exchange. You know, knowing chord progression. You know, he'd have been a good teacher. Would have been a really good teacher. Too bad. You know. All right. So when I got back from New York, I was about 27, and I worked at this 7-Eleven for a summer. Helped out one of my teacher friends in his theater. I worked right here. At the time, I smoked yellow American Spirits for about 6 years, off and on. Switched between Camel Silvers and yellow American Spirits. But I ended up conquering the addiction of nicotine. Oh, thanks, Waze. Appreciate it. We made it. These people are buying like goldfish and stuff like this, and I gotta drop it off at their door. It's like goldfish and candy and stuff. I worked mostly the night shift when I worked here, and the main thing that we would do at night is we'd try to scrape the grease off these things right here. See how greasy they get right here? Which we weren't even really supposed to do. I can't believe I'm gonna confess to this, but one thing I used to do is they had matrix bars and they would fall on the floor, and I'd sweep them up and pretty much collect them. You know, I was like pretty hungry at the time. And also another thing they did is they throw out the donuts at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And one time I actually took like a whole bag of donuts home one time. That's like 150 pounds or something like that. And they throw these out usually probably like at 1 o'clock or so. And like a freaking Slurpee, I'm gonna have to bring it over here. I used to eat these things with one of my high school sweethearts. She did a photo of me. It's a really funny photo. And there's goldfish floating over my head. Like I'm thinking of goldfish. And I just think of that right now. Pretty interesting thought. I think I'm gonna give him some napkins. There we go. So McDonald's being healthy, they're doing like a McPlant. Sounds like a skateboard move. I went to this apartment complex a long time ago with my friend Foster before he went on his second tour and he died as a Marine. One of his friends were up there somewhere in a balcony, one of these balconies. I was in the car and they say, hey, is that Ben Affleck? We all laughed and stuff because they knew at the time I was trying to be an actor. It was somewhere around here, but he's gone now. I guess he died under enemy gunfire at the second tour. That's all I found out about. It's on one of the website pages. I did a vlog on him. Anyway, I'm looking for, I think this is building 11. I want to say maybe it's probably going to be building 13. It's probably that building right there. Or maybe the one around the corner. Vlog's going to be over here pretty soon. Well, vlog's going to be over pretty soon. I got another one at Wendy's. I go off about a Wendy's story. I started Wendy's when I was 15, but I don't know. You probably heard that one a few times. My grandma told me to lie about my age. Okay, I'm gonna see if it's this one or maybe that one over there. So it is that building, and it's weird because that probably happened when I was about maybe 24, 34, 44, more than 24 years ago. Pretty strange. Now I'm right back and I'm about to deliver some food there. He's dead and I'm alive. I don't think it's this one. Let's go to the next one. Go to this one. This one. There's a lot of shoes. Do a census on that one. I think they were like right over here. Yeah, where they're like yelling. We were parked right over there. Is that Ben Affleck? Like, come on, man. I'm serious about this thing. He was too. So Wendy's is open till 2 a.m. These all look kind of good, like the Big Bacon Classic, Big Bacon Cheddar, Bourbon Bacon, Asiago Ranch Club, Big Bacon Cheddar. Then there's a new Hot Honey. I guess it's like a chicken, pepper jack, cheese, hot honey, applewood, smoked bacon. There's the Baconator too. They got a lot of bacon stuff. But yeah, I worked here when I was about, I don't know, I was about 15. My grandma said, you go in there and you tell them that you're 16. I said, but Grandma, I'd be lying. She said, I don't care. If you want to skateboard this summer, you go in to Wendy's and you tell them. They got some pretty cool grills out here. All right, vlog over.